As always, I like fighting games. I'm sorry.
What are your thoughts on the movie coming out?
I don't even know much about it, to be honest.
Well, I've told you a little bit about the casting, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
You think a Street Fighter movie would hit or no?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I'd like to think there's potential there.
I want to watch some of the older animated movies, though. Like, some of them, like...
What about the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie?
Fuck, no.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
No, neither have I.
Nor... Oh, man, fuck these things. Nor am I, like, really inclined to. I love Jean-Claude Van Damme, but, it's probably just shit.
Oh. Yeah, I'd assume so.
I'm just surprised... Oh, watch out. Watch your feet. Watch your feet.
Oh, fuck.
God, fucking bitch. I'm surprised this movie's not going to be animated, because once you said 50 Cent was going to be...
yeah, that's crazy, right?
Was going to be Balrog, I was like, oh, like, is he going to do the voice of Balrog? Like, that'd be cool.
Is he glitched? What is happening here?
I don't know. I think he's having, like, post-mortem depression or something like that. I don't know.
There it is.
Get put down, you fucking bitch. Yeah, I was like, oh, 50 Cent, oh, like, you know, voice of Balrog, like, that might be cool, I don't know. And I'm like, someone, either you or someone else is like, no, it's gonna be live action. I'm like, what? Damn, 50 Cent is gonna have to get in good shape to play Balrog?
True.
Unless this is like an old retired Balrog now. Or something, I don't know. And then they got this chick playing Chun-Li.
And they got Jason Momoa.
As Blanca.
Blanca, yep.
Which,
that could be kind of cool.
I might be down for that.
They said he's gonna be green, too.
I watched an AI trailer of, not to divert too much, but I watched an AI trailer of Supergirl. It was AI made, so it's not real. But they casted Lobo as Jason Momoa. I'm like, damn, that would actually kind of be good. I don't know. But Lobo's humor though is so like uniquely his, and I would kind of want to preserve that as much as possible. I don't know how much you know about Lobo.
I don't know much. I'm not huge into Street Fighter.
No, Lobo is Superman.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, you're watching an AI video on what?
Of a Supergirl trailer.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about Street Fighter. My bad.
No, you're straight.
I was like, what?
And they casted Jason Momoa as Lobo.
Oh, I think you were talking about this not too long ago, actually. With me.
Yeah. I was talking about it with you in passing.
So, yeah, no, I don't know that character for sure.
And, but yeah, like Lobo's sense... God. Ada dick. Lobo's humor is so, like, distinctly his that I would definitely want to try to preserve that if at all possible.
Yeah.
Or like him and Superman in the animated series are being collected by this like entity. I completely forget, but it's like, oh, I'm looking to preserve the last of like all these life forms. You're the last of the Kryptonians and you're the last of the Xernians, meaning Lobo.
Right.
And he's like, oh, how did you become the last of the Xernians? Like, was your world blown up like mine? And he's like, oh yeah, like I fragged the entire planet in my school science project. Gave myself an A. And I'm like, you don't like it's such like weird humor that's so distinct to that character.
Yeah.
But I love it.
You got to kind of keep it in.
In my opinion, you know, someone else could tell me to go fuck myself. That's fine. I could be wrong. I'm just a fan.
So it was just so it's not actually happening.
Yeah, it was. Thing. But I was kind of for it. And then the chick that they like the AI casted for Supergirl, like she has the right look. Just unfortunately they were using her AI voice, and she's like British, so the trailer was like British accent essentially.
Okay, let me ask you something kind of related to just Superman in general.
Sure.
If this movie is like super successful, right? Where and they want to expand like more of DC, like say this is the beginning of a new DC movie universe, right? Where do you think they should go next after Superman?
I can already tell you.
Where?
I would love a fully fleshed out Hawk Girl movie.
Do you think that character has enough weight to her right now for her to hold her own movie? That's why I feel like, because you got to think of it this, well, no, you could be right. The only reason I say you could be right is because Iron Man wasn't really that highly like known of a superhero amongst like the public eye until the movie came out.
Sure.
And then after that, that's when they started doing all the other characters and stuff like that. Because I was just thinking, I was like, do you just kind of get your more popular characters out of the way first with their movies? And then if those all hit, then do something with more? Not that Hawkgirl's like super obscure or anything, but like compared to Batman or, you know.
I think we have too much Batman going on right now.
I agree. Like, I'm not saying Batman should be the next one. But yeah, no, I was just curious what you thought.
I'm really in love with the idea of like a fully fleshed out, like how she's gonna be in the Superman movie, obviously. I don't know how much, but retroactively going back and exploring more of her and the Thanagarian people and how she got to Earth in the first place, and maybe
if she's like, you know, if people really like what's going on in the Superman movie enough with her in it, I mean, I don't see why they could do that with her own movie. I think that, like, that was kind of my theory, like I was telling you, not to make this all about... you know what? Fuck it. We talk about whatever the fuck we want on this channel.
you're damn right.
And usually Resident Evil playthroughs go like this anyway. 212.8.
Wow, really secure.
But that's kind of my theory with why there's so many characters on or in the trailer for the Superman movie, is because I don't feel like they're going to be like a huge staple part of the film. I think they're just kind of there to plant the seed for what will be, or to get audiences like interested enough to be like, dude, I want to see them in their own show or movie, you know?
Yeah, in the trailers that I've watched, the person that's actually had the most screen time is like the least well-known character, which is Mr. Terrific.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know how much that'll translate to the actual movie, but like as far as side characters are concerned, and you're gonna get a lot more. Like, you got a taste of more Hawkgirl in actually an episode of Justice League we just watched, and like more of her character, and like, you know, you kind of got some essences of like, you know, her prior history on Thanagar. It's like, okay, your people dealt with Cthulhu. At one point, your people were religious. And then she's questioning Diana, is like, you know, do you really believe in, like, your prayers are, like, I forget exactly what she says, like, you know, do you really believe in this faith that much in, like, Hera? And she's like, oh, you know, faith sometimes is all I have in these moments.
Which was a good moment. I actually liked that.
God, such like...
That's what Wonder Woman said to her,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, sometimes she said something along the lines like, sometimes in your lowest moments, faith is all that we have, which is actually a pretty powerful line. I liked that episode a lot, actually.
And I think Justice League does, like, Aquaman, like, good.
Which, if you actually think about that even deeper, that actually translates really well to the ending of that episode with her and Grundy, because she wanted to say, well, I don't know. No, if your soul, she wanted to say that, and then she saw look on Grundy's face and said, yeah, your soul's waiting for you. Which, the way I interpreted that is like, going from that line, she kind of took what Diana was saying to her and was like, sometimes you just kind of have to have faith when, you know, moments like that. And I think that she kind of realized that in that moment. At least that's how I took that scene.
Dude, oh my God.
Which I was like, damn, that's actually really strong episode, actually. See, and that's the thing about Justice League in general, like I was telling you, like when we were walking up at the gas station, is that you get great moments like that, but then you get some episodes that are just so polar opposite of what they're doing there. It makes you wonder who's all in that writing room, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoever is the dipshit 3 writers that are writing these episodes, get them out of here, because the other 7 writers are doing way better. You know what I mean? It's like...
No, most definitely.
Am I crazy for thinking that? Because it does feel like it's like, when you get like just a mixed bag of episodes like that, it's like, okay, how many cooks are in the kitchen right now? You know, it's like, how many of these people are actually involved with writing? It's like, clearly you know what are the good episodes and what aren't. Why don't you just keep the people that are writing the good episodes, you know? Like, you would think that. I know that's shitty. Fuck you.
But also, like, you, at the same breath... Like, I'm a really big fan of these, like, heavily character-written episodes. And, like, you and I joke around when we watch, the show.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have to be careful with how much you're joking around as well, because like some of these really good moments are like the most fleeting moments where it's just like, just make sure you catch this. And I hate being like that. It's like, hey, make sure you catch this like one little thing.
No, I get you. I get like that too. Like I joke around, but I was paying attention. Like I
Sure.
actually was paying attention to it. I was enjoying what I was watching.
But at the like in the same
that's right.
breath, I do love these heavily character written moments, and it's one of the strongest parts about the show, and it like reinforces other shows as well, like, you know, the shows that came before, like Batman the Animated Series or Superman the Animated Series or whatever. But at the end of the day, the show is targeted at kids. Like,
Yeah.
so like you're gonna have like these stupid weird moments, but
No, and I'm totally, I understand that. It's just fun to like
prod at it a little
sure,
bit.
I do that with everything though. I do it with even Star Wars, and do everything to like, doesn't mean that there isn't something to be said in that, or it isn't worth watching. I actually think that makes it even more interesting when you think about it with that like in mind, where it's like this is supposed to be for children, and like what's actually being said here, the good shit, it actually is even more impactful when you think about it that way, because it's like it's a good lesson to be teaching children. It's a good thing to, that's why I think adults attach themselves to things like that so much in their adult life, like I do with Star Wars and you do with Dragon Ball and stuff like that, is because if it's done right, these things can have like a huge impact on a child as far as how they view life. So I think that that's why I get so passionate about the things that I'm passionate about, with stuff like that, is because it's like with Star Wars, for example, there's things here that you can adapt to life, like it just period. And like, I think that about Dragon Ball too. I'm like, there are things being said here with these characters that I don't think people appreciate enough, because you can like take that philosophy and adapt it to your life, and it'll help you navigate life better. And I think if something has that kind of weight and power to it,
Jeez.
Timeless is the best way you can describe that. That's a piece of art that's timeless,
Well, and that's why I feel so strongly about so much superhero media. Of like, dude, it feels like all the shit that I watched as a kid, like Justice League or Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Dragon Ball Z, Static Shock.
Right.
Like so much of these like elements and themes superseded the package that it's contained within. And like, oh yeah, dude, I feel like so many of these life lessons enforced how I would grow up to think. It like sets your moral compass like straight. And I'm just like, I'm getting that from a kid's show. And how many times I've said to like my mom, you kind of underestimated some of the things that I watched as a kid.
Sure, and I'm not saying that there isn't stuff made today for adults that you can, say the same things about, where it's like, oh, this is like, really profound, and I think people underestimate this or
beyond its container.
But I just think that when it comes to children's stuff specifically, that has more of an impact on a child's mind, as far as like those are formative years to create the person you will become as an adult, So I think it's important for children to watch specific things, because it's important for them to understand, the trials and tribulations that life will throw at you, right? And that's why I attach myself so much to things like Star Wars and even Dragon Ball as an adult, and thinking about that in hindsight now, thinking about what, like, there were children that grew up watching this. I mean, shit, dude, there's so many moments in, like, just kind of steering away from Star Wars, talking more about Dragon Ball. There's so many things in Dragon Ball that I'm like, dude, this is very important for specifically young boys to watch and learn from, because I feel like there's like within every man there's either a Goku or a Vegeta type person. Everybody there, I feel like men have two perspectives on life like that, and I think that show highlights that in such a profound way that it helps, I think, young men navigate the world and build relationships with those around them better, because they understand they understand men's motivation outside of their own. You know what I mean? And I think that's really important. So cartoons and stuff like that and kids shows and stuff like that. Of course, they're going to have those like kids things that make them a little cheesy, but the stuff to mine from that is super important. And I find stuff like that to be really fascinating to watch, even as an adult. Because it's, I feel like stuff like that has more of an impact on society than even people today, adults today, give credit for,
Well, like even
Rant over. Sorry.
oh, it's not over.
My rant is over.
The way some of these shows tackled some of these like most life pressing of topics, whether that be like fleeting moments of like addressing very serious issues, or like something like a Static Shock that is like very on the nose about what it's addressing. Like that show addresses literal racism. I don't know of a fucking kid show in this, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is stuff like that.
This is going to be a bit, I feel like maybe a bit edgy to say, but I just feel like when it comes to stuff like real heavy topics like that, I think people are too afraid to kind of like push boundaries on like subject matter like that without feeling like you might potentially offend. But sometimes I feel like you have to, how am I going to word this? I feel like sometimes it's important to show how nasty the world can be, to teach the lesson of how not to be that, or to show like how to be better than that. I feel like if we try to avoid heavy topics like that, then there's nothing to learn.
Yeah, without the capacity.
I hope I explained that in the best way I possibly could.
Without like the capacity of like feeling like this container is like virtue signaling, or what would be the term? I had it in my brain. Or without having it like an agenda. And maybe I'm biased. Like I feel like the media that I consumed as a kid, like it gave you the facilities to like infer what you will.
I think I see what you're saying. I think what like the big takeaway from older stuff like that is that I felt like when it was trying to teach you lessons about that, it was just very unbiased in its nature. Like it wasn't trying to put like you're saying an agenda. It wasn't trying to like spin some other narrative to like point the blame at anything when it comes to stuff. It was just trying to present a topic that's heavy for people to digest and trying to show like the way people can behave and the way people can be, and trying to present that to the audience, especially children, on why that's wrong and why people behave that way or why people think that way and what to learn from that so that you can be better. And I think the basic nature of that alone, I just think it's harder today for you to try to tell something like that without feeling like you might be saying something offensive, or you might be, this might be misinterpreted and stuff like that. There wasn't much hesitation back in the day like there is today to speak your mind and to say the things that you want to say.
Yeah, there's a lot of either walking on eggshells or like approaching something with kid gloves. Whereas like, yeah, right. You're correct before. Like you can speak about something very candidly, without fear of being like, oh, how dare you approach the subject of, because we talked about, how dare you talk about racism? We don't need to be implementing.
Right, and that going specifically to that Static Shock episode, I thought that was a great episode to tackle that.
I mean, I wish. I don't know if Static is on it.
I just don't think you would see much stuff like that today, like blatantly showing you it. Because like that episode just outright shows you. Where the fuck am I supposed to put these? Do you remember how to do this puzzle? Because I don't. Pretty sure the rook and knight are on the same wall, and the bishop and queen are next to each other. The queen and rook were opposite each other too.
And then you could read the individual panels.
Yeah,
well.
We might need another plug. I was just thinking that too. I was like, I might need to go get another plug, but I don't remember if I need another one or not.
For you or for anyone watching, if you have not sat and given Static Shock like a genuine watch, it's very like episode by episode. Whereas like, dude, like the way it tackles these like
tough subjects,
is like very commendable. Like, one episode is like about a kid getting bullied really bad to the point where he brings a gun to school and there's an accidental shooting.
Yeah, see that, like, it's subjects like that where it's like it's very heavy to talk about and it's very dark, but I think it's important to learn why people behave the way they do, why things like that happen, and how it is that you can navigate in your real day-to-day life to avoid stuff like that. Like, I think stuff like that's important to show kids, you know?
Unlike another one was I showed you where Static goes back in time and like the man, what is the place that they're at? Detroit. It's before the riots happen and
Okay.
his mom dies in the riots and he's like like if hey, like don't go out there, like please just do this for me.
Right.
And she's like, oh, you know, if you know anything about me, I have to go out
Yeah,
there.
I can't like stand by and let these people die. Right.
But like in the earlier episodes of the show, like it's an episode of Virgil, aka Static, not being able to deal with grief and like unpacking that and unpacking the loss of his mom.
Sure.
And like just like, you know, pushing it off to the side and just like, you know, pushing those feelings down and just like ignoring those feelings. And then by the end of the episode, he's like, you know, he speaks at his mom's funeral. That show is like very special to me. So yeah, for anyone that hasn't like given it a genuine watch, like just an episode here, just an episode there, like the layers that show goes into is lovely. And I don't feel like there's another show that I know of that's like it. And I love Static, man. Static's
Right
cool.
on, man. Yeah.